Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. It's a new day, another opportunity to either make money in the market or to just learn from the market, right? So let me go ahead and give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. With that being said, let's get started. So we are looking at the VIX. And as you can see, we've been trading in this area since Friday. And it's going to be interesting the move that it makes today because the high on Friday was 1719 and we're trading in this zone here. So I have pre-market support still in this area of 1609, which is right at the 50 EMA, under the 5 EMA, under the 20 EMA. So we would definitely need to break above those areas, which is above, let's say, around the 1647 area. And we're still going to have trouble here at the resistance at 1666. So right now, pre-market support is at this area of 1608, 1609, which is right at the 50 EMA and that little zone that we've been trading in. And the resistance is at 1666. Now, if we break the 1666, we can definitely come back and retest the 1687. Notice I said could come back and retest 1687, above 1687, 1708, and again at 1719. Those are going to be trouble places to the upside for the VIX. I'm going to go to the 1 hour chart just to see on a higher time frame. We're moving sideways here, but I always ask what's holding that stock up or what's keeping it from going down, and actually it is resting here at the 20 EMA also on this 1 hour chart. So it kind of like have strong support in this area, right? And here on the 30-minute we see that it's just stopped in this area, but on the 1 hour we see that it's the 20 EMA that's stopping it from going down. So I would say where are trouble places to the downside? If we lose this support here at 1622 and the support here at 1609, we could very well have trouble here at the 1542 area down to the 1497. And again, that is the 1 hour chart. On this 30-minute, if we break the 1609, 1607 area, our next trouble place is here at 1532, which is the ATR trailing stop. So I would definitely watch the VIX today, knowing that it can move in either direction, right? Any direction. So we are now looking at the SPY, and the SPY should trade interesting today. It looks like the president, Biden has decided to drop out of the race, and that's going to affect the market. News affects the market. Let me say that. People may not think it does, but just be careful at how the market reacts to this today. So where are our trouble places for the SPY? SPY closed at 548.99, and we were having trouble here at this ATR trailing stop at 552.18. So now we have broken through that level of resistance, which was a trouble place for us. As you can see, we were at this area here and we broke that area. So now we are above resistance. This is now our support. So where's our next level of resistance? We are going to have trouble at 552.70, again at 552.87, above 552.87, 553.47, and above the 553.47 we're going to have trouble around the 554.31 area. Those are going to be trouble places to the upside for the SPY. Now, to the downside, let's go back and see if we can create our gathering spot. SPY has a lot of charting, let me say that. So this is actually our gathering spot, because the reason why is because price has traded in this area here for a while. So pre-market support is here at the 551.71 and resistance was here at the 552.18. So it traded in this zone. We got above that. So I'm going to mark that ATR trailing stop here as an area of support, or it was resistance for us, right? This is our area. If SPY breaks under the 551.73, we can have trouble here at 551.55. Under 551.55, we can come back to this area, 551.36. Yes, 551.36. Under 551.36, we can come back to this 20 and 50 EMA and a previous support area at 551.12. So if we break to the downside, I would definitely watch those levels. 551.12, under 551.12, we can come back and retest to 550.70. Under 550.70, we can come back and retest this area of 550.31. So I would definitely watch those areas to the upside or to the downside. We'll come back to the SPY, and we're going to go look at Tesla. Tesla does what it does, y'all. You see, we've been trading in this gathering spot here. So we broke out. This is our 4 o'clock candle. So as of right now, we're going to mark our pre-market support and pre-market resistance, right? So looking at it on this 30-minute chart, price has been just trading in this zone here. And if you look at it, that's where the candle, it looks like we're trying to break out of this area, but that is where we have been trading pre-market with Tesla in this area here. So we're going to mark pre-market support at 241.85 and resistance at 242.66, right? So and let's see. Right. So we came down and tested this area only to come back up in this area. So we are pre-market support at around 241.85 and resistance at around 242.66. So where are our trouble places for Tesla today? So if it breaks above the 242.66, we could have trouble at this 50 EMA, which is the previous resistance area or support area here at the 243.72. Above the 243.72 or 82 area, we can have trouble here at this ATR trailing stop, which is at the 244.48 area. Above the 244.88, we could have trouble here at the 242, let's see, 246.26, and again at 246.55. Above that, we would need to clear the up above the 246.34 only to come to this 200 EMA on this 30-minute chart, which is at the 248.12. Those are going to be trouble places to the upside for Tesla. If we can break those areas, you know, Tesla does what it does. It normally exceeds its ATR, which was about, let's see, $15 last time I checked per day. It is $15.63 on average per day. And again, Tesla normally exceeds that, right? So if you trade Tesla, I always say trade carefully. So where are trouble places to the downside for Tesla? If by chance we lose support here of the 241.85, we could find support on this 20 EMA at the 241.68 area. Yes, 62, 68 area. Under that, we can find support all the way down here at the 239.49, because this here was a previous gathering spot also. So under 239.49, it can come all the way back down to the 238.37. Below the 238.37, we can come back to the 236.29. Again, Tesla normally exceeds its ATR. That's the average true range, and it can go in either direction, up or down, right? So if you trade Tesla today, I always say trade carefully. So don't rush into your trades. Make sure you have confirmation as to why you're entering your trades. And again, I say this often, y'all. Once it goes against your why, get out, right? Get out. Make sure you get out. Live to trade another day. So this is AMD. And pre-market support for AMD is at 152.98. And resistance I have marked here at 154.02. As you can see, we tried to test this 50 EMA here only to get rejected. We tried to break above this level of 154.02 before, only to get rejected. So price is kind of staying in this area. 5 EMA is our support as of now because it is trading in this area, but I would definitely watch the 154.02. If we break above that, just know that we're going to have trouble at 154.36. Again, here in this zone of 154.84, 155.10, 155.51, above 155.51, 156.18, and again at 156.75. Those are going to be trouble places to the upside for AMD. Now to the downside, if by chance we come under this 5 EMA and under the 20 EMA or right at the 20 EMA, at the 152.98, we can very well continue to the downside. And where are our trouble places? We can come back to this area here, which is now the ATR trail, and stop at the 151.27. So if we break where we are at 152.97 area, we can come back down to the 151.27 area. Those are places to the upside and to the downside that I will watch for AMD. And let's see how much AMD normally moves. On average, it normally moves $8.24, and this is AMD on a daily chart. So I know it's kind of congested. We broke out of a gathering spot only to come back down. There is going to be a gap that needs to be filled back to the upside. However, you know, it's just 200 EMA going to keep us as support. That's some on the daily chart. That's something to be mindful of. Again, I always say trade carefully and do not rush into those trades, right? So we are going to NVDA. NVDA is trading in a previous gathering spot, this gray shaded area. It's pre-market support. So we're going to I'm going to mark that because it did move up just a little bit. So as of right now, the 5 EMA is our support for NVDA, and only because we see that the price is gathered in this area and we are above the 5 EMA, even though this previous area of 120.05 was something that I needed to be mindful of. Right now it's showing me that 120.24, which is not far, is our support area. Our resistance is here at the 120.62. Again, this is pre-market. Anything can change when the bell rings, right? But I would definitely watch this area if I traded NVIDIA today. So pre-market support is here at the 120.24, resistance at 120.62. Above the 160.22, we can come back and retest 120.89. Above 120.89, we can have trouble here at 121.15. Above 121.15, we can retest 121.43 or 121.45 area. That's going to be a trouble place for us. Above 121.45, we can come back and retest 121.80. Those are going to be trouble places for NVIDIA to the upside. Now, to the downside, if by chance we come under this 5 EMA, under the 120.30, we could very well come back and retest this area of 120. Below 120, we can come back to the 119.83. Under 119.83, we can come back to this 50 EMA, which is here at the 119.69. Under 119.69, we can come back to the 119.55. And if by chance we break that 119.55, we can come back to this area of 118.53, 118.53, which is not far from this ATR trailing stop of 118.25. So if I traded NVIDIA today, again, I always say trade carefully, and it normally moves about $5.42 per day, and that's on average. That means in either direction, it can move on average of that $5.42. Now, we do have a few inside day candles today, and I believe Apple is one of those. It is. So if Apple, which we are breaking above that trigger right now, if we break above the 226.83, which we've hit 227 already pre-market, it could very well come up and test 230.48. However, we will have trouble at this 200 EMA at the 227.89. So I would set my alert above that 227.89 to let me know that Apple is above a level of resistance. So again, our trigger to the upside, we've already broke that. 226.83 gives us a target of 230.48. Now to the downside, if we come back under 223.19, it gives us a target of 222.09. So I would set my other target level of alert at 222.86 under that, because that's the ATR trailing stop. If by chance we break under that, we can come back down and, back down to the 223.19 level. So if I traded Apple today, those are the levels that I would watch. It is an inside day candle. CCL is an inside day candle. If it breaks above $18.52, then the target to the upside is $18.71. Now, if we break under this 18.15, target to the downside is 18.08, and it too is trading in a gathering spot. I would definitely watch the 18.45 area as support, and the resistance, we're breaking out of that. So, and it has already broken through the trigger to the upside. So I would definitely watch those levels for CCL if that's something that I traded. Carvana is an inside day candle. Above 136.28 gives us a target of 137.54. Below 128.58 gives us a target down here at 128.16. And if I traded Carvana, again, I always say y'all trade carefully. Make sure you have confirmation. Carvana normally moves $8.04 on average per day. Again, that's in either direction. So if you trade Carvana today, again, I say trade carefully. So Google, GOOG, is an inside day candle. So if we break above 182.03, which we have, then the target to the upside is 184.10. Just know that we will have trouble at 183.56. Yes, that is the 200 EMA. So I would set my alert at that level to let me know that we are close to that area and have broken through that, and we could very well come and reach this target of 184.10 today. Now to the downside, if by chance we come under 178.79, just know the target to the downside 178.21 is reachable. And Google normally moves $3.69 per day. And looking at it on this daily chart, we broke out of a gathering spot only to find support at this 50 EMA. So is this 5 EMA going to be our resistance and the 50 going to be our support for Google? That's something to watch and be mindful of. If you trade Google, I would definitely, pay attention to that daily chart, right? So and that's GOOG. So GOOGL. I always have to say that. So if we break above with GOOGL 183.33, which we have broke through that come and got rejected, just know that the target to the upside is 182.52. If we break under 177.04, then the target to the downside is 176.44. So if I traded Google GOOGL, those are the levels that I would watch. It looks like it wants to break out of this area here. The moving averages are trying to fan. We are above the 5 EMA. So if I traded Google GOOGL, I would say trade carefully today. Y'all, Mara is an inside day candle above 25.50, gives a target of 26.17. If we break under 23.34, then the target to the downside is 23.36. No, if we break under 23.36, then the target to the downside is 23.34. I had to get that right. So if you trade Mara today, again, I say trade carefully. Let's see how much Mara normally moves on average. It normally moves about, let's see, $2.04 in either direction. So I would say, again, trade carefully if you traded Mara today. So another inside day candle is United Health. I'll give the trigger for that. If by chance we break above 569.79, then 581.50 is the target. Now to the downside, if we break under, let's see, 561.13, then 561.13 is the target, which we are under that now. So it could very well lose support at this ATR trailing stop, which was the 557. If we lose that 557 area, we can come back down to the 538, 539 area. Let's see. 539.14, 539.50 area. So I'm going to see how much United Health normally, UNH normally moves on average about $14.01 per day. Again, that's in either direction, right? So we're going to go back to